Joe starts us off in Boston. Hi, Joe. Joe, how are you?
Good. Hi, Dave. Hi, Chris. How are you?
Better than we deserve, man. What's up?
Hey, thanks for taking the call. I'm actually in the process of getting ready for retirement. I'm age 60. My wife's 59, and we're in the last 5 years. And we're actually in the process of downsizing homes, and we're going to split homes between Florida, where we just purchased a home for cash, and downsizing our home in Massachusetts and buying a smaller retirement home. And then we're going to snowbird between the two houses. And the way we're doing this is we're actually having a house built in a retirement community up here that's going to close in March. And our current house that we're in probably will not be closing until June. And so we've got this little bit of a gap period where the equity in the house that we're currently in will not be available to be put towards the new house. So when we finish this, we won't have any mortgages whatsoever. And I'm trying to figure out whether I should take a mortgage on the new house, which I'd be paying off in a very short period of time, or using another sort of debt instrument like a home equity line of credit or something else that might help us bridge for those 2 or 3 months.
Yeah, since you're going to pay it off very, very fast, you don't want any closing costs.
Right.
Correct.
And a home equity loan will allow you to do that.
Okay.
Yeah, no closing costs and, a fixed rate and no balloons on that home equity loan in case this drags out further than you think it's going to. But you're just going to get a home equity loan. It's a little scary. I wish you'd lined this up in a little different order. But because sometimes these things don't work out like we think they're going to. So you need to be financially and emotionally prepared to own both these houses for a while if that happens.
Yeah, and we're actually blessed and in a position we can do that if that happens. So
okay. So what do you have other cash? Do you have other cash laying around?
Yeah, we have about $350 in cash sitting around. Total net worth of about $4.8 million.
Where's the rest of the money?
$1.6 million taxable, $350 of it's cash. The rest is stocks.
How much is the beach house? How much are you short by not selling your house? How much are you going to borrow?
So we'd be borrowing probably about $300.
Just take that out of the 1.6. It's not in a retirement account.
And just take that as a taxable transaction.
Yeah, but you shouldn't have. I mean, shouldn't be a ton of taxes on it because it's not in a retirement account. What taxes would be on it? Just the increase in capital gain?
Capital gains, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd take enough and just pay it off. I'd do that in a heartbeat. There's not a chance with a $4.8 million net worth I'm borrowing money to buy my beach house. No, I mean, not a chance. You just use some of your money. That's what it's for.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it may cost you a little bit of capital gains money, but what you can do is just look at the most tax-efficient way to do it. In other words, which pieces of these investments do you have that have the highest basis versus their current value? So minimize your capital gains because you cash out the thing with the least gain.
Yeah.
And I think you can get some tax advice on that to walk you through it. You can probably do it yourself. You sound like obviously you're very sharp.
Yeah.
But no, I'm not going to tell you to borrow money when you got $4.8 million net worth and $1.6 million available to you that's not even in retirement accounts. Nope.
And, Dave, you brought up the whole thing about timing. It's crucial. I remember working with an entertainer years ago that had a home in L.A. and another home was going to close, and they got this short-term financing for 2 weeks, and guess what? It took 2 months for this thing to go through. So what I would tell everybody is just slow down. Slow way down, look at it, do it with a clear conscience, do it the right way, and as you said, Dave, expect it to take longer than you think. Yeah. Because it's going to.
Well, and that's what I would do in your situation, Joe. But obviously, you're not a dumb guy. I mean, you got $4.8 million. Dumb people don't usually do that. So I've met a few, but not many. And so I think you're going to do fine. But that's what I would do if I woke up in your shoes. And, I'm in a situation where my net worth is greater than that, and there's not a chance I would borrow money when I've got taxable. Even if I'm going to pay some taxes on it, I'm going to do that rather than borrow money because, of course, I don't borrow money, period.
Well, that's what it is. You're allergic to it.
I couldn't do it.
Well, it's just not an option. Yeah. It's not even on the table.
Yeah.
And so
here's the other thing that I run into, and it won't happen to Joe because he's at a different level. But sometimes when people get in these situations where the house, I was talking with a friend of mine just the other day. This happened. He closed on his new house, and the other house was supposed to close 2 weeks later.
Mm-hmm.
The old house. Well, the buyer gets all jerkified and starts, every nitpicking little ridiculous thing. And because he put himself over a barrel, he ended up having to bow down to ridiculous buyer requests at the last minute, and even escrowing money and possible price cuts and other stuff because he was stuck. He put himself where he had no walkaway power when he could have told that buyer to pound sand.
That's right.
And get 63 other buyers in line because it ain't like Nashville real estate's hard to sell.
Right. That's right.
But when you've got your other house closed and you got the money for a short term, he's over a barrel. All of a sudden, that buyer's got him by the throat.
Yep, sure does.
And can misbehave all over the place. Now, I don't think Joe would allow that to happen. But
no.
But this guy didn't. He stood up and he just said, "No, you guys are going to do it the right way, or we're going to drop this whole thing and I'll start again." But what if he'd have run his buyer off because the buyer was misbehaving? Now he's got to start again, and what was supposed to be a 2-week deal, like you said, ended up being a 2-month or sometimes a 2-year, because sometimes things like pandemics come up.
They sure
right
do.
In the middle of your best laid plans.
Right. Yeah. No.
So Bill. That's the thing. You put yourself in and in his case too, not in Joe's case, both cases, the guys had the money, but they just, you know how it is when you've emotionally sold the house, but then the guy starts being a twerp, and you're like, man, I either got to start this whole process over with a new buyer, or I got to put up with, okay, I'll do this thing.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do that thing. And all of a sudden, you're getting jerked around because you put yourself in a position emotionally and maybe financially for some people.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
But you just like,
But
instead you'd be going, nope.
I'm done. That
Hit the
walkaway
road,
power. That
Jack.
walkaway power is imperative.
Yeah, it changes.
It's smart.
Everything.
It really is.
Changes everything. It just changes the flavor of the deal. Changes the way the thing goes down if you're dealing in strength. And you can be calm and kind and gentle, but firm.
Yeah.
And you don't have to get run over.
Yeah.
But if you're like, man, I already moved my furniture. I already moved my wife in.
Stuff's on the truck.
And now this guy's pulling our chain. And if you didn't know, buyers are sometimes crazy.
Yes, I do know, Dave.
Some of you people that are buyers are sometimes crazy.